Original post, October 27, 2022. Just need to get this off my chest. My girlfriend's birthday is on Saturday, and I plan on proposing to her. Our anniversary is 6 months from Saturday, and I think that would be a great day for a wedding. When my grandma died, she left all kinds of jewelry to my mom. She always said if I wanted one of her rings to give to a woman in the future she would let me pick. I know my mom knows she said this. I asked my mom for one of the rings but my mom said not yet. She and my dad said my sister will be upset if I get engaged while she is still single and not married. It's not a secret that she's desperate to get married. But that's not my problem. My sister turned 29 in March, and I turned 31 last month. My parents said she'll be upset if I get married a month after her 30th birthday. So I went out today and bought a ring. It was never about money because I can afford to buy one. I thought it would be special to give my girlfriend a family ring. I'm still proposing on Saturday despite my parents forbidding me to. I'm just pissed off that they asked me to hold off until my sister is married when she isn't even in a relationship. Pisses me off but I don't want anything to spoil my girlfriend's birthday. Relevant comments. Comment 1. For her 30th birthday, your parents can gift her therapy. I turned 30 back in August. Never married. You know what happened? Nothing. The world doesn't end when you're still single at a certain age. Comment 2. That's so weird. It's not like you're 17. A month after she turns 30? Does she own every month? Just wait until you start having kids or something before her. I get being sensitive to her feelings, but this is way over the top. I mean, they could let her pick a ring first and set it aside for the future. It sucks that they're going to be more worried about her feelings than excited for you. Then they'll wonder why you always spend holidays with the in-laws. Update 1, October 30th 2022, 3 days later. I proposed on Saturday like I originally planned to. I proposed with the ring I bought after my parents denied me one of my grandmother's rings. I didn't do anything elaborate or public. I proposed over breakfast, and she said yes. She called it the best birthday gift she's ever gotten. She had the same idea as me and had suggested we get married on April 29th, our 3rd anniversary, before I even brought it up. So that's what we are doing. We both agreed we won't do anything huge or expensive so we're going to keep it small. It's 1:15 p.m. now, about 28 hours since I proposed. When we announced the news, my sister was upset just like I knew she would be and my parents were mad I didn't listen to them. I'm 31 and don't rely on my parents for money. I told my parents and sister if they are unhappy they can skip the wedding. It would suck if I didn't have any family there, but I also don't want them to spoil this. I wasn't going to tell my fiancé what went down but I did once my sister started melting down so she wouldn't be blindsided by any of it. She assured me she loves the ring and thinks my family is wrong. Her family had the exact opposite reaction as mine and they are all happy for us. So that's it. All is well. My fiancé is currently at work, and it may sound stupid but I miss her. She told me her coworkers are happy for her and I know mine will be too when I go in later today. Edit. I also appreciate all the supportive comments in my last post so thanks for those. Relevant comments. Comment 1. What happens to the ring if you get married first before your sister does? Would she get to keep the rings? OP, no because my parents said that if my sister was married, they would have let me pick one of the rings like my grandmother said I could. My parents said that if my sister was married, they would have honored my grandmother's wishes. Out of all her jewelry, I would have only gotten one ring and the rest would go to my sister. There are multiple boxes full of jewelry and multiple rings. She really liked jewelry. I didn't expect my parents not to honor her wishes and especially over something I have no control over. Comment 2. Where is it written that if your sister's not happy then nobody else can be either? Your parents spoiled the crap out of her. She'll never find happiness with that entitled attitude. Good on you for your response. Congratulations on the engagement and upcoming marriage. Your family can go suck it since you're creating a family of your own. Update 2, May 27, 2024, 19 months later. My original post and the first update can be found in my comment history but the gist of it is, my grandmother loved jewelry and always said I could have one of her rings for my future wife. When she passed away, she put in her will that I was to be allowed to pick one out if I was getting engaged. The other hundreds of pieces of jewelry got left to my mom to be eventually passed on to my sister. The rings I was supposed to pick from were not her engagement ring or any of the most expensive jewelry she had. In October of 2022, I asked my mom for a ring because I was going to propose to my then girlfriend of 2.5 years, but my mom said I could not have one and my dad backed her up. It was because my sister would be upset that I was getting married first. My parents forbid me from proposing. I was 31 years old when this happened, and I live in a different province, so they had no grounds to forbid me from anything. My grandparents on both sides came to Canada from Scotland. There is nothing in either culture that says I am supposed to wait until my younger sister gets married first. I bought a ring and proposed to my wife on her birthday. My parents were angry I didn't listen to them. My sister had an absolute meltdown when she found out about my engagement. I had not told her in advance I was going to propose because I knew she would react badly. Even though she was 29 years old at the time. My wife and I got married 6 months after I proposed, in April of 2023. It did suck not having any of my own family at my wedding, but I just focused on my wife instead. Now for the update. I went 18 months without speaking to my family, from a couple of weeks after I proposed until earlier this month. I guess my mom had a health scare, and even though she is fine, it got her and my dad worried enough to get back in touch a couple of weeks ago. My wife told me she would support me in whatever I decided. I told my parents we can't go back to the way things were before, and I will not let them talk to my wife right now after the way they acted. My wife and I don't want kids, but if we did, I would keep my parents away from them too. They were surprised I got married without telling them. I said I'm an adult who doesn't need their permission. We are going to start with occasional emails for now and go from there. My parents said my sister is still upset that I'm married and she's not. She has never apologized for the way she carried on or the way she spoke about my wife. I have no plans to resume contact with her, and I told my parents not to bring it up. Again, thanks to those who left supportive comments in both of my posts. I forgot I had posted here until my wife said something that reminded me of it, and I had some messages asking for an update. Relevant comments. Comment 1. Your sister is a nutjob. Even if you lived in a culture where the older sibling gets married before the younger, you are older than your sister, so that really wouldn't matter. I think your parents have enabled her sister's behavior, which has allowed her to continue acting this way, and possibly getting worse. She is miserable and wants everyone else to be too. And your parents should have put their foot down years ago. Maybe now, seeing that you are not going to stop living your life because they ask you, they will change. You getting married has nothing to do with your sister. Her being single has nothing to do with you. Just go live your life and be happy, that's the best revenge anyway. Comment 2. If it was willed to you, get a lawyer to force the parents to allow you to still choose the ring of your choice. It is your inheritance, and they have a fiduciary duty to obey the will. Story 2, my fiancé is ghosting me on our wedding day. Original post, May 1, 2024. I, 28 female, am getting married today to my fiancé 30 male. It's the legal document signing, and our ceremony is on Saturday. I haven't slept in 24 hours, I just am feeling so much anxiety. For reference, we were living together for about 3 years before becoming long distance for 1.5 years. I'm back in the country for a week to visit him and family, and to have our wedding. For the last month, he has been ghosting me for sometimes even weeks at a time. I know it's because he's going through a mental health crisis, but no matter how much I tell him his actions are causing me pain and straining our communication, he can't change. When he goes through rough times, he absolutely shuts down for everyone, especially me. It hurts so much every time knowing that even the person he says is his best friend and future wife, he doesn't trust or respect enough to share or ease his pain. I thought coming back to the country and the marriage would wake him up from his ghosting tendencies this past month, but it's not. He had a very important meeting at work yesterday that either meant he'd get a raise or be unemployed, and now I don't hear anything from him at all. He's ignoring my calls, he's ignoring my texts, and there are red receipts, so I know it's intentionally ignored. It's the morning of, and we are literally set to sign our marriage paperwork in a few hours from now. But I was up all night because I can't shake the anxiety that this isn't what he wants. That he's just doing this to appease me, despite this being a joint decision. I still can't even get a hold of him. I try so hard to communicate everything with him, but this hurts me deeply, down to my core. Part of me wants to drive over to his apartment and beat his door down and just demand answers as to how he could treat someone he claims he loves this way. But I know he'd just shut down further, say he's sorry, and then bury himself deeper into his guilt and depression. How can I be supportive through his mental health crisis while also keeping firm on this is some disrespectful and harmful behavior that is absolutely unacceptable? When we were about to be long distance, he begged me to try it out because I knew his inability to properly communicate his feelings would be miserable over long distance. But he begged me and promised he would change. I would say he did improve, but if this last month has shown me anything, it's that I'm about to marry someone who has no qualms and sees no consequence in ghosting your spouse for weeks at a time. This whole thing gives me so much anxiety I have no idea what to do. Any advice on how to calm my anxiety or maybe try to be more supportive to coax him out of the horrid way his depressive episode is manifesting would be greatly appreciated. Before I forget, yes, of course I've tried to get him to see a therapist or get on medication. There is basically a 0% chance that, if it's coming from me or anyone in my family, he would ever listen to that advice. It's incredibly frustrating and not an option that I can even bring up with him anymore without the conversation devolving and him shutting me out even further. I will not be tolerating or responding to any accusations of him cheating or people just saying don't marry him. He is loyal but has a multitude of mental health issues, and I will marry him regardless of what anyone says on the internet. I just want some advice is all. TLDR, my fiancé keeps ghosting me for weeks at a time and he's doing it again even on the day we are getting married, which is causing me insane anxiety. Edit, I won't be reading anything anymore, and please stop messaging me. If you see a woman who is genuinely struggling with something and clearly has no one else to turn to for advice other than random people on the internet and your response is to ridicule her and call her an idiot, then congratulations, my last idea of seeking help has failed. Clearly I had no one else to go to, it's my wedding day and I'm on Reddit. I don't know why I expected anything less than hate messages and ridicule. Maybe there isn't some magic way to help him through this period of grief, but I didn't think I deserved to be sent all these cruel messages so instantly. To the people messaging me and calling me stupid, idiotic, doormat, and that I deserve whatever unhappy life awaits me, you've won. Relevant comments. Comment 1. He's been ghosting you for the last month and you thought marriage would fix this? You don't want anyone here to tell you not to marry him when that's the most logical and smart decision here. You've created your own misery and are determined to continue doing so what do you want from us? We can't make him unghost you and we can't make you feel better about this decision you know is dumb as hell. You have a man with mental health problems that refuses to get help, that's causing severe relationship issues and you're willingly signing yourself up, aligning yourself legally to have more of these problems till death do you part? When you have kids and he ghosts you, then what are you going to do? I hope you get what you deserve from this situation. Whatever that entails. OP, this marriage has been planned for much longer than just the last month. It wasn't some solution I created by myself. And it isn't no contact for the whole month. Just a week of no contact before he comes back and apologizes for the absence due to unavoidable life events. Then contact for a week before another week of no contact before something else comes up. We spent the whole day together 3 days ago, but because of the meeting yesterday, it's now been a day and a half of nothing again. To answer your question about what I'd like, compassion and actual helpful advice was what I was searching for. Not judgment and malice. Update 1, May 2, 2024. My life was great. My relationship was great. Until yesterday it suddenly wasn't. The last month felt a bit off, but I didn't think it would lead to this. I still love him intensely. He still loves me intensely. He wants to stay with me. It's just that he says he can't do marriage because he can't untie the trauma he has from the idea of it from his childhood, cult stuff. My mom says I'll be a pathetic loser if I still stay with him regardless and that he'll never be a part of the family. But I want to stay with him regardless. But I don't know if I can live with the constant fear, anxiety, and insecurities that will come from being with someone who can just leave whenever he feels like it. My wedding is on Saturday and my family still wants to have it since it's more of a small family gathering already anyways. His family wasn't invited due to cult stuff. My life as I know it feels completely over. I don't know what to do. The person I turned to for empathy and compassion turned to me screaming that I'm a fucking idiot. I'm only in the country for my wedding, I live abroad. My new job and my fiancé pressured me and reassured me I should already use my new married name professionally. I'm a teacher and all my kids already know me as his name. Everything sucks and I can't stop sobbing. Edit, to clarify, he left me while we were about to sign the marriage certificate. It's a symbolic left at the altar since there was never going to be an actual altar anyway. Edit 2, I told my mom that the way she phrased her opinion was cruel. She told me she was tired of my drama and doesn't need it in her old age. I already had told her she was right, and I knew what she said was right, but just that the way she said it was cruel. She said she no longer cares about maintaining a relationship with me and that it isn't worth the drama at her age. I apologized because she's right. I'm a piece of crap who never saw that this situation hurt and humiliated her too. I wanted to just have this be a nice party with friends and just spend time together. I'm going to try my best to keep my negativity inside, so it doesn't spoil the mood and maybe there's a hope to salvage it as a good party. But I think once I return abroad this will be the last time my mom will ever speak to me again. I don't know how I could repay her for all she spent on this wedding, but hopefully removing myself from her life will maybe make her life more peaceful and less stressful, even if it destroys me. As for him, thank you all so much for your kindness, advice, and perspectives. It truly makes me feel better to read the comments even if they hurt and I deserve it. We will be talking about it tomorrow in person, and I've scheduled an emergency therapy appointment for myself for tomorrow morning. I've never done therapy before, and I'm scared, but I know it's what I need. I'm so angry at him for ruining my entire life that I don't know if the love I have can salvage this. Relevant comments. Comment 1. You can't be with someone who cannot effectively communicate their fears and needs and, instead, choose to run. He failed you. He does not get to treat you like that. You deserve better. Your mom may have let her anger for you make her word things poorly, but she is right. That dude does not get to have his cake and eat it too. Go back home. Go no contact with him. Finish out the teaching contract as it. Then, my recommendation is to find a teaching job in a dream location. Maybe, be a traveling teacher for a few years. Heal. Live big. And, if you wish, find love again. OP, I am a traveling teacher already. I'm home right now just for the week so that I could have my wedding. Back to where I live abroad next week to live a life of isolation and loneliness. Comment 2, please elaborate on cult stuff, that could literally be anything. OP, he's seen marriage used as a way to entrap and oppress women due to the cult culture of his family. He doesn't understand that what he's done is created a tilted power dynamic where he's holding all the power and autonomy and I'm the scared, anxiety-riddled one terrified he'll leave at any moment in any possible future we may have now. Which is honestly worse in my opinion. Comment 3, so many questions but at the top of my head are these: why did he agree to marry you? Why were you using a name that wasn't yours for so long that your students know you by that name? Haven't you talked beforehand with him? Was this relationship one-sided? OP, he asked me to marry him. My job told me to start using his name because the school year started in April and I would be changing my name in May. I said no, it felt like I'd jinx it. I called him and he said stop being such an overthinker and just use my name. I talked with him, he reassured me. It's been 3 weeks, my kids know me as that name. And to be honest, yes, it does feel one-sided. But not in the way you're implying. Update 2, May 8, 2024. For a brief recap, I was going to the officiant to sign my marriage license with my fiancé, who I'd been with for 4 years. He chickened out and said he couldn't marry me and ruptured my image of us. On to the update. Since I was so brutally humiliated, it really made me think back on all the not great parts of us. He has always tried gaslighting whenever I'd claim his actions reflected the opposite of his words. So I ended up talking to him. I asked him to define what his definition of loving someone, respecting someone, caring for someone, and trusting someone means. Needless to say, they were twisted and not healthy at all. I tried to make him see that and he had a few moments of holy crap, I think you're right, I don't actually trust or respect you. Now just because he admitted it didn't mean the crazy selfish actions didn't continue throughout the entirety of the conversation. It was so crazy how I'd never been able to articulate it in a way to where he actually understood before. He actually had the gall to say, wow, we should have had this conversation a long time ago, because of how much he was realizing he was treating me like trash and then gaslighting me about it. I was like, dude, I've been trying to tell you this for years but you never respected me enough to listen, and I was always too emotional to articulate it properly. Anyways, he wanted to do marriage counseling with the intent to marry at the end. I told him I'd rather break up because the power dynamic is too shifted, and I don't feel like it's salvageable. With how he was listening to me and finally acknowledging and understanding me in his own actions, I was hopeful for maybe a friendship one day in the distant future. But after a teary, bittersweet goodbye, he absolutely ruined it with yet another selfish action right at the last moment. I didn't want to be touched or do physical affection for multiple reasons. One of the main reasons being he uses it for comfort when he's feeling sorry for himself. I had just spent 3 hours explaining how he never thinks of me in any of his actions, and maybe it's cruel of me to keep that last kiss or whatever, but it felt selfish and manipulative to me. So after an actually heartfelt goodbye and promise to be better people in the future, we part ways. Only for him to run back to me to try and do some romantic swoop in and kiss me. I recoiled really fast and honestly just stared at him incredulously. Like he had just ignored everything I had just said. That was the moment I went from sadness and grief from losing something so important to me, to just numb and angry about it. I haven't cried since. I don't even feel sad when I think about him because all I can think about is how angry the whole thing makes me feel. I'm 28 and feel like I wasted my good years on someone who had zero regard for me in any capacity. I developed so many new insecurities, confidence issues, and trauma from 4 years with him, and now I have to navigate the dating pool again with all of that. In a foreign country no less. TLDR, I broke up with him and I'm just angry now. Relevant comments. Comment 1. How are you and your mom doing? It sounds like you left your home and family for him. Are you thinking of coming back home? OP, both my family and him are in America. I left for me, my dreams, and my career. I'm actually thankful that I can go back abroad to be away from him, and honestly, I need some time away from my mom as well. Comment 2. Bravo, I'm so proud of you for finally ending it with him. It's likely he only understands you now as a form of gaslighting and trying to placate you. I know it hurts now, but with time you will heal and be stronger. Don't worry about dating right now, worry about loving yourself and nurturing yourself. Give yourself all the love, support, and understanding you normally give to him. You deserve it. I hope your therapy visits go well and help you build up your self-worth and BS detector. I'm so glad to hear you took the right steps towards a healthier, happier life. I will never understand why people think that all their partner's issues will go away if they get married. Like all that marriage is just making it a lot harder and expensive to leave when they don't change. So why would marrying someone that you wouldn't want to be with even something you consider? Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.